Hi, friends. Last Sunday, 11 of our teenagers were either baptized or confirmed as they professed their faith in Jesus Christ and committed themselves to serving Christ through the church. As part of the baptism and confirmation liturgy, the students and the entire congregation affirmed our faith using the Apostles' Creed. One of the statements of belief in the Creed is in the Holy Catholic Church. Since the students became part of the church and since the congregation reaffirmed our commitment to the church, I thought it might be good for us to think about what that phrase means, the Holy Catholic Church. Let's begin by defining holy and Catholic. When we say that the church is holy, we are not saying that the church is filled with righteous, nearly perfect people. Holy in the biblical sense means belonging to God, set apart for God, or sacred to God. The church is holy when those who are a part of it recognize that the church belongs to God and not to its members. The church is holy when the people who belong to it do not ask, "What do we want the church to do for us?" but "What does God want His church to do for Him?" One metaphor for the church that is used in the New Testament is that of a bride, specifically the bride of Christ. Using that metaphor, the church is holy when she loves Christ fully and when she is faithfully committed to Him. The church is holy not because it's perfect, but because it belongs to God and it is set apart for God's purposes. So what about the word Catholic? Catholic with a lowercase c is an adjective that means universal or everywhere. Now this can be confusing because Catholic with a capital C refers to a particular branch of the church, the Roman Catholic Church. If you participated in worship last Sunday, you probably noticed that we used the word universal instead of Catholic to try to avoid the confusion. So here's a quick history lesson. In the year 1054, the Western Church and the Eastern Church divided. The Western Church claimed the name Catholic. They were the universal church, and by implication, the real church. The Eastern Church claimed the name Orthodox, implying right belief, right worship, right practice. And it positioned itself as the church who believed and worshiped the right way. For Catholics, those who were not Catholic were not part of the universal church. For Orthodox, those who were not part of the Orthodox Church were, unorthodox and didn't worship and practice in the right way. Of course, since that time, the church has divided many, many more times. Jesus knew our human nature, and he prayed in John chapter 17 that God would make his followers one, just as Jesus and the Father were one. And he told his followers not to judge one another, but to love one another and to forgive each other. Nevertheless, the church continued to divide and still continues to do so today. Despite this, our belief in the Holy Catholic Church is an affirmation that all who call on the name Jesus, all who seek to follow him as their Savior, despite denominational or non-denominational names, all are part of the one universal Catholic with a small c church. The Roman Catholic Church is part of this universal church, and so is the Eastern Orthodox Church, as well as the Lutherans and the Presbyterians and the Episcopalians and the United Methodists and the Pentecostals and the non-denominationals, and on and on and on. So we've defined holy as set apart or belonging to God, and Catholic as universal and everywhere. Tomorrow we will define church. Thanks for listening today. I'll see you tomorrow.